Okay, you're gonna have to give me a second. I haven't been live in a while. I have to double check, make sure everything's going. I got a fan in the background. I gotta make sure you can't hear that. I need to make sure that I'm loud enough so you can actually hear me. So just give me some time. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Looks like I can turn myself up. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. Everything that I have. Oh, I could just turn myself up, huh? Let me see. All right, I think that's good. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. All right, let me go live chat here. Let me come over some. I gotta make sure I can. It's been a minute, okay? It's been a minute. Bear with me. Let me see. All right. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. All right. Let me know what's going on. It looks like you can't hear the fan, right? Which is a good thing. All right. Okay, it says I'm live on my channel. Looks like we're good. Again, if you can hear me, let me know. Make sure I'm good in the volume. If I need to turn myself up some more, I'll do that. All right. You got me for about maybe an hour, some change, depending on how long or how quick we get this video done or topic done. All right, it looks like everything's good, which is a good thing. All right, so let me go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to assume more people are going to join a little bit later. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little prerequisite first, then we're going to talk about the topic. First things first, I know I said that I was going through some things. It wasn't that deep. You know what I mean? Like, it was just one of them things that you have to do as a man. There's certain choices and decisions that you have to make. Sometimes they're harder than you would like them to be, but at the end of the day, we got them done. So it's not like nothing devastating to me to where I'm, crashing out or something. A lot of you guys were leaving like concerning messages. I'm like, nah, bro, it's good. It's good. Like, I'm all right. Right? But it was one of those things where it's like, all right. RFet, what's up, bro? How are you? I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So again, that was just one of the things that I was dealing with. It was quick. We move on. We thug it out. All right. Other than that, life has been going amazing. Let me say that. Life has been going amazing. Other than when I first got here, if you do or don't know, I'm out the country. But when I first got here, I had everything set up. The apartment was baller. I'm like, yo, I'm ready. I get to the spot. They tried to scam your boy. You're not going to scam me. You can't do that. Anyway, super long story short, got the money back, had to stay in some tiny hotel. And when I say tiny, I mean like New York City tiny, tiny. Like, I opened the door 2 feet, there's the king size bed. And in the king size bed, there's like a little room with a dresser, another dresser, bathroom, that's it. It was crazy. Anyways, we're situated now. I'm in a better spot. We're good. But I wanted to go live in my other place, but I couldn't do it simply because the noise level was out of control. You guys can maybe hear it in my past videos, but when you hear it in my past videos, understand that was when it was quiet, in the rare time that it was quiet, because they had this was a very active community. I think this was the most active community I've ever lived in. And when I mean active, I mean active. There are people in the streets all day, kids, adults, stores, vendors. There was a butcher shop, a different store, they call them tiendas, but it's like different things. It was crazy. And then people were selling things on the loudspeakers. People were blasting music. It was crazy. There was no way I could go live. And hear me, I was on the 10th floor, right? So I'm high. I'm far from the street. And the thing was so loud that it was overtaking my voice speaking into the microphone. Now listen, you guys see the microphone. If you do know or don't know, this ain't no $100 microphone. This is like quality standard. This is top of the line standard when it comes to microphones, okay? So it has built-in noise cancellation in it. And even with that, it was still overpowering me. That's how loud it was. Crazy. So I was like, I gotta wait. I'll just try to do content, but it's not till here that I think I'm gonna really start trying to go a lot harder. Anyway, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. We're here now. I'm gonna try to go live either every day or every other day. But other than that, I have one more thing. Shout out to the people who have already joined the community. Listen, when I tell you this community is about to go crazy, this will be my 3rd annual community, my 3rd and my last, because this is going to be, once you join it, you're in it for life. The first time it was 3 months, got good results, but it wasn't long enough. All right. I wanted to see it play out over the long run. The next one was an entire year, and that's when I was able to see through it through the long run, and the people got amazing results. I really need to start posting more testimonies and screenshots of the results that people were getting throughout that time. Nowadays, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm throwing this again. This is going to be the last one, and it's going to be like a lifetime membership. So once you join in, you pay the fee, it's done. You're in it for life. And so I think this is going to really enjoy it. The people that have joined already, their headspace is in the right headspace. And I'm so excited because just having that group of people who are really to push you and really get you to that next level is game changer. Okay. So listen, if you want to join that, you go into my previous videos. It's going to be a link that you go book a call. You go book a call. Now listen, I might drop the link in here a little bit later, but for right now, that's how you're going to get in. Right, because I need to have a conversation. I need to make sure that your head is in the right spot. All right, flow it with the wind. MD, let's get in some semen. Let's get in some semen. What does that mean, bro? What does that mean? I need you to type better. Am I reading it wrong, MD? Let's get in some semen. Nah, you got to type that better. That's not me. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, which is the reason why you clicked on this video. Again, if you hear me spitting something crazy, and this is a great information, great game, let me know by go ahead and blessing the Cash App here, okay? I obviously am taking donations. I appreciate that ahead of time. Let me know your username or whatever in the message, and I'll shout you out. So I appreciate that. But let's go ahead and get into today's topic. And today's topic, I believe I named this the foundation to manhood. And this, for me personally, is one of the most powerful things that I've adopted in my manhood journey that I think is going to help you out extremely if you've been struggling with something like this, okay? So when I talk about the foundation to manhood, what am I talking about? Well, first things first, let's ask ourselves what encompasses a man. Now, what I believe a man to be is different from what you believe a man to be is different from what she believes a man to be is, different what he believes a man to be is. But we can all agree that at the core, at the foundational level, a man is just simply made up of his values, his beliefs, his morals, his character. Point blank, period. And if a man is able to embody that to the highest degree, meaning every thought, feeling, emotion, action is coming from that foundation of his beliefs, his values, his character, we're going to say that man is a man, all right? We're not going to get into the biology. I think we all were born with a brain to understand what makes a man, okay? So we're talking about that. So here's the most important thing that I've learned when it comes to the foundation of manhood. Whenever you are a boy, okay, a child, a boy, an adolescent, a teenager, even a young man, you have been told what a man is your entire life when it comes to all the actions and the beliefs and the morals, okay? Again, just for the sake of this conversation, let's take biology out of it. We know what makes a man, okay? We know what makes a man. We're not in that. We're on this side. Whenever you do that, a lot of guys will grow up believing that it's a man's job to sacrifice himself for others. Okay, that's something that the society, women, other people they want to instill into young boys. They're going to tell you that, hey, look, you have to be doing this thing, right? That's something you have to do. That's something a man would do, right? And so what a lot of people do, especially if they didn't have a masculine father in their life growing up, or a masculine figure in their life, masculine role model growing up, what they do is they usually just pick and grab everything that that makes sense or doesn't make sense in their head, because again, they don't know any better. And so they're just trying to grasp and fill this empty void that was left, that was supposed to be filled by a masculine figure in your life, okay? Plain and simple. And so what that does, because you're seeking things outside of yourself and not inside of yourself, you're seeking things from the outside of yourself. When you seek things from the outside of yourself, you don't know the intentions of the thing that you are seeking. Why don't you know the intentions of the things that you're seeking outside of yourself? Because it didn't come from you. You don't know that when this thing was brought up, it was made to serve you and the people around you. You have no idea about that because it never originated from you. It came out from other sources, right? Christianity talks about this. It says, seek first the kingdom of God and all shall be revealed, which is just, I believe it's called an allegory, which is basically go inside of yourself, right? Because when you go inside of yourself, you start to ask yourself real questions. And those real questions are, what do I believe? What are the things that I believe make a man? What are some other things? What are my values? What are my beliefs? What are my morals? You have to start questioning all of these things. And most people, when they get to this point in their masculine journey, they have to do a lot of unlearning, which makes it twice as hard because, again, you have to go against everything that was fed to you this entire time. Does that make sense? So when people tell you that you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for others, you're supposed to hold doors open for women and the elderly and children, you're supposed to go out and learn how to fix cars, you're supposed to go out and build a house, you're supposed to go out and protect, you're supposed to go out and provide, you're supposed to go, listen, some of these things may be true, but you have to go in and tell yourself or ask yourself, is this true for me, for what I am seeking in the future or ultimately wanting in the future? And when you start asking yourself and you start really going through the nooks and crannies of what it is that you believe manhood is to be, there are going to be some things that you are going to discover that you do not align with. And when you do not align with it, now we start the battle, the fight of unlearning the thing that was given to you and not something that came from yourself. It was given to you. Now you have to unlearn that and then rebuild that up. That can be extremely difficult whenever, not only when you are in the midst of society, because again, society's version of manhood is built, it's prepared, right? Back in the day, you knew that being a man was getting up, going to the factory or the white collar job if you were blessed enough, right? Going home to your wife, your 2 kids, your white picket fence, and your dog, right? And you did all the things that man did, right? You wore certain clothes, you believed certain things, and you did whatever. That was like society's picture perfect of like, this is what a man is. If you're a boy, you want to aspire to be this person. All right. And it worked for a while, but there's always going to be the normals, right? I've heard people say the term normies. There's always going to be normal people. That's a given in any society. There are people that are going to grow up. They're going to follow that model because that model is honestly best for them. They don't want to think about anything. They don't want to go on some self-journey discovery. They don't want to do any of that. They say, what am I supposed to do as a man? You're supposed to do this. Okay, I'm going to go do it. Okay, and bless those people. Good for them. I'm glad it works out for them. But there's going to come a point into your life, especially if you're a person that practices semen retention, especially if you're a person that you look around and you feel like you're the black sheep, especially if you're looking at everybody else and people are telling you things and something in the back of your mind is like, no, I don't believe that. That's going to be such a difficult journey for you because you have to take that journey alone. And a lot of people can't take that journey alone because let me tell you how it starts. And I did this when I was younger as well. It starts with you start to have doubts about stuff. And so what you do is you start talking to other people. You start talking to others and you start talking about those questionable things that you're thinking about. And what usually happens when you start to bring deeper topics or darker topics to normal people, what happens? They immediately reject it. They immediately call you weird. They immediately want to stop because, again, they're happy and satisfied as far as they're concerned with what it is that they have and the worldview that they have it. And that's okay. It's not your, what people want to do when they take the red pill or they find the truth or they find whatever, they want to go wake everybody else up. And usually that's always met with hard resistance because, for one, it's very selfish on your part because you never asked them if they wanted to be woken up in the first place. There are some people who are so deeply indoctrinated, but they don't care because that's ultimately what they want to be. Or they really don't want to go on the opposite side of that because they are afraid or whatever. It doesn't matter, okay? It's your job to figure out what this means to you. What does manhood mean to you? And then follow that path. The biggest thing that I see, the worst mistake that I see people make, that I see men make, men coming into their manhood make, is they want to validate this by asking other people or showing or telling other people, and they really need that feedback from the other person. That's the worst thing because what you're saying is, I want to act in a way that is more aligned with me, but I need your approval first. What does that sound like? It sounds like when you were in school and you had to do this here. Hello? Yeah, can I use the bathroom? Hey, can I do this? Hey, is this correct? Right? That is childish mentality. It's a necessary mentality when people are children, but as you start to come into your manhood, you have to realize that you are your own man. You are not your father. You are not what society wants you to be. You are not what a woman wants you to be. You are who you want to be as long as it is a man to you. I can't tell you whether what you're doing makes you a man or not. The highest pinnacle of manhood, is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That's the highest pinnacle. Because again, that gets deep. Don't take this as like, oh, MD said I should do anything that I want whenever I want. No. You have to be intelligent. There are laws of the land. There are rules. There are social rules, unwritten rules, right? There are things that happen. And so it's your job to not only be a man as far as what you see it, but place yourself in an environment that encourages the behaviors that you display. If you're trying to be a masculine man, and I mean a genuine man's man, masculine man in 2025 in the US of A of America, you are going to run into a lot of problems, especially if your job includes, corporate politics or whatever. You're going to run into those problems. Why? Because there are people who are creating these characters that want to see you fail, that want to dismantle the very thing that you represent. Now, we can talk about how these people are wrong, that they shouldn't be trying to dismantle masculinity or manhood. We can go into that all day. We already know that we are correct. But my thing is, I'm not here to prove that what I am doing is good and righteous, not only for myself, but for the people around me. You guys understanding what I'm saying? Let me see what you guys are saying. What's up, Daniel? How you going? Out of curiosity, what is your BF percentage? What does that mean? Oh, body fat percentage? I don't know. Don't you need to take like a DEXA scan for that? No, I don't know. Play the matrix how you feel. You align with it, internal, not external, to get there. And here's the thing. Whenever you are, as you guys know or don't know, everything is energy, frequency. You probably have heard something like that. Whenever you are internally building who you are, your character, your values, your wants, your diswants, your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your needs, all these things, you are tuning to a certain frequency. What that frequency is doing is pinging, going back and forth like a bat. You guys know bat sonars? Bat sonars, they make a noise, or it's internal. I don't know how it works for bats, but it sends out a signal, it bounces off walls, and it returns back to let them see, to let them fly. Have you guys ever seen something like that? You are consistently doing this all of the time. And you know this. This is where it's like, you ever go into a place, a building, a friend's house, a party, something, and you feel off? Something is like, I don't like this. So, what it's telling you, what it is not only is that a sign that you should get up out of there, but what it's saying is, think of it like a piano, right? If I had a piano right now and I just slapped all the keys, it would make some crazy, horrible noise, right? But when you study music theory, you're playing something called chords, where there are two sounds that go together. You understand what I'm saying? And it sounds beautiful, actually. But when you play something that is the opposite and they don't sound together, they clash. So whenever you are having your own frequency, what's happening is you're consistently playing this tune that when you go into places, you're going to know if you're in the right place. This feels good. This feels right. Versus when you're in the wrong place and you're like, okay, this does not feel right. This is not good at all. Now, again, some people navigate easier through feelings, okay? It doesn't, just because you operate, not even operate, just because you're able to feel things does not make you very feminine, okay? Some people are able to do that through feelings and emotions. Other people are able to do that extremely logically. Right? And extremely logical is simply saying, does this align with my goals? Does this align with my values? Does this align with my beliefs? Does this align with my character? No, I'm out of here. Right? But a lot of people aren't cutthroat as logically as they like to believe they are. Right? This is why a lot of guys will stay in relationships that they know is not good for them. Right? Sometimes logic, you can't use logic in the situation that you're in. It has to go off your feelings. And this is why if you're a masculine person, you have to have a foundation of your femininity, understanding your feelings and your emotions, being able to communicate these things and understanding these things. Powerful tool. So anyway, whenever you are building out your values, you're building out your beliefs. Beliefs is the hardest one, especially if you grew up in a culture or a place where they were trying to push a certain type of religion on you, and you kind of looked at it and you're like, nah, like that's not for me. Like whatever, it may not even be you don't believe in God. You may just not believe in the religion that you're in, because there's so many of them, right? That's one of the hardest ones, because religion has things baked into it for people who think oppositely. Right? And just to again, this is no dig at anybody's religion, but just as an example, as you try to question these things, usually on the other side of that is eternal death or eternal suffering or something like that. You know what I mean? And so it's made to scare people so they get back in line. But if you are, as manhood would teach you, if you are not afraid to strip yourself to the core, you start to understand that, oh, this is a choice. Like who I am is a choice. And every action that I do, every thought that I believe, all the emotion that I feel has something to do with either what has been instilled into me or who I really am as a man. Does that make sense? So when you are, usually for me, this happened in my early, I would say 20 to about 25. Was like the hardest part, because I was trying to solidify my manhood. After 25, I got it, I connected the dots, and now it's simply just about playing it out. But 20 to 25, really about 17 to 25, I was unlearning all of the things and going through the fight, the battle of, is it okay to not believe this and to believe the opposite? And I'm here to tell you that the answer is yes, so long as it aligns with your values, your characters, your beliefs that you have instilled in yourself. Does that make sense? Because again, your parents has a duty to instill things into you. Society has a duty to instill things into you. But one of the things that you're going to realize, is that one of the things that you're going to realize is whenever you are coming up with these beliefs, these actions, these values, you're going to realize Oh my gosh, it's right here. Hold on. You're going to realize that these things serve you and the things that you care about. So if those are the things that serve you and the things that you care about, what are the things that serves other people and what they care about? This is why if you do not have your internal foundation, you will always lead yourself to damnation. You will always lead yourself down the wrong path. You will always lead yourself to where every day that you wake up and you're participating in values, beliefs, characters that's not your own, you feel a piece of your soul being ripped apart or out of you. Are you hearing me? The reason is because you are out of place. The thing that you are doing is serving other people. There is nothing wrong with serving other people, but you have to understand that the foundation requires that first you serve yourself and then you serve other people. Does that make sense? You guys can hear this all the time. It's like you can't love somebody unless you love yourself. You can't respect somebody unless you respect yourself. You can't do whatever. You're on a plane. I was on the plane some time ago. Guess what they told me when the emergency mask come down, right? What do they say? What do they always say? Before you help other people, make sure that you're helping yourself. Put it on yourself first, then go to other people. And why is that? Why is that? Because if you are not operating at the highest version of yourself, or even the best version of yourself, you are of no service to anybody else. You hear what I'm saying? You're over here, the mask come down, you're trying to save other people. Whole time, you pass out. Now you're dead and the other person's dead because you didn't take care of yourself first. If you took care of yourself first, you would have had everything you needed to then help other people. And let me say this. This one's going to be a gut punch for the people who are doing it. A lot of people focus on other people's problems, trying to be helpful and fix other people's problems because it's easier than to help themselves. It's harder to help yourself than it is to help somebody else. You ever had somebody tell you a problem? And when a person tells you a problem, since you're outside looking in, bird's eye view, you're immediately like, yeah, bro, just do this. You immediately can see the next 1 or 3 steps that they should be doing because it's like, bro, how are you struggling with that? But however, you find it very difficult to do that with yourself. That's why people do it, because it's difficult to do it with yourself. It's easy to tell somebody else to do something. It's harder to tell yourself to do something because you have to not only tell yourself to do it, but then you have to actively take part in the actions that align with the thing that you just said. Now you have to deploy consistency. Now you have to deploy discipline. And with your track record and the way that you've built up your mental strength, you know that this is going to be a journey and a hard one at that. Are you guys following me? Let me know if you're following. Let me read the comments here. It says, MD the GOAT. Appreciate that, WJ. Welcome in. Again, guys, if I'm spitting anything that's crazy and you want to show support, I want to start going live more often. But again, you got to make it worth it. Either like the video, leave some type of comments, let me be engaged, or of course, donate to the Cash App that you see down below. I appreciate you. All right. So again, whenever you are, as a man, whenever you are building these things out for yourself, it's extremely important that you ignore other people's opinions on it. Now, again, this doesn't mean that you don't hear advice. You understand what I'm saying? But again, the advice should come into a form where the person is saying advice and they don't know your personal situation. You understand what I'm saying? Because now they're saying it just for the sake of advice versus trying to change you into the person that they want you to be. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's very important about that because you can walk around as a man and understand that you're thinking you're right. But when you get some general knowledge or some outside knowledge that makes you like, oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. Not only am I wrong, but I should change this action because it helps me. Again, it helps me become the person that not only is good for me, but is good for the people around me as well. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Following 100%. I appreciate that, WJ. Appreciate that. So listen. This is one of the hardest parts because what a lot of guys do, especially young boys or young men or men who just never had this experience, is they want to adopt something. And when they adopt something and it's really helping them out, That's what I call your cup runneth over. Okay, you started off with the empty cup. You found something that was like really great, not only for you, it's improved your life a lot. So your cup starts to rise up. You're now full, and it starts to overflow. When it starts to overflow, people want to take the excess and they want to give it to other people. Hold on, guys, my throat's dry. I'm going to get something to drink here. They want to give it to other people. But again, you have to understand that trying to give your excess to other people is rooted in selfishness. It's not selflessness, selfishness. It's rooted in selfishness because most people, bro, you should do this. It changed my life. It does this. It does this. But again, you have never, just like they did, you never really took this person, sat them down and asked them, what do you want out of life? Who do you want to be? Right? And again, because a lot of us are logical, or maybe even we have our emotions invested, you may have people closest to you, whether that's your family, whether that's your parents, whether that's your friends, whether somebody you honestly care about, and you see them, because again, bird's eye view, outside looking in, you see them going down a road that's not only a bad road, but it's a road that doesn't serve them as you see it. And so you're trying to come over there. Hey man, you could call me anytime if you need something. Hey man, if you need some money to start that business, here's some money. Hey man, you're trying to really help this person. But no matter what you do or no matter what you say, they continue down that path. And again, they may even enable that behavior by saying, yeah, man, I appreciate that. I'm going to hit you up. Yeah, man, I'm really trying to turn my life around. Yeah, man, we got to get this. But again, when you start to really look at the actions of the person, you realize that they don't care. And that's something you really have to internalize as a man. For one, you're not a superhero. Stop playing God. One. Number two, you can't save anybody as far as wanting something for them more than they want it for themselves. Are you hearing me? You cannot help somebody want something more for them. You can't want something more for them than they want it for themselves. You will spend consistent time, attention, and energy not only pouring into this person, which they're going to gladly accept, but then they're going to take that and not do anything with it. And now you're like super frustrated. But again, the caveat to that is the reason why a lot of people are so invested into other people's lives is because, again, it distracts you from doing the necessary work that is within your own life. There is no way that you have a ton of time, attention, and energy to help other people, and you don't. There's no way you have that enough for other people, and you're able to build everything that you want in your life. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. There's no way. Because again, just being a man itself is difficult. But being a man that's optimizing his life and trying to plan for his future 3, 5, 10 years from now, that takes everything you got. Just talking about the four foundations of personal development: health, wealth, relationships, and purpose. Just having these four and taking care of them and making sure that you're either maintaining or growing is a full-time job. Is a full-time job. And I know it's a full-time job because I help hundreds of men not only plan their entire life, but then come up with action plans to then understand how to get their goals in the next 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. And let me tell you something, every time we do it, you maybe have 1 to 2 hours left over in the day, not during the day, left over in the day. There's nobody here that's going to tell me that you're working 40, 45, 50, 60 hours a week and taking care of your own self. And at the end of the week, at the end of the day, you have plenty of time to help other people. There's no way. And if there is a way, I can guarantee you that there's a level of dialed in that you may be trying to reach that you haven't been able to reach. And it's simply because you need to invest more time, attention, and energy. And I keep going off into this point, but the whole point that I keep coming back to is whenever you're building out your values, your beliefs, your character, right? Whenever you start to build these things out, you have to make sure that this is for you. And the way that you know that is you stop sharing it with other people, because people should already know these things about you based off of the actions that you're saying, that you're displaying every single day. How does this person know that I'm extremely chivalrous? Let's say, for an example. How does this person know that? Because every time they see me, I'm opening the door for my woman, or I'm opening the door for a woman, or I open the car door, or I pull out the seat in a restaurant. I take part in actions. But what a lot of guys want to do, a lot of guys want to be like, oh, bro, and you see this in comment sections all the time of guys giving out this game and all this other stuff, but they're not, like, it's not a reflection of them. Dudes will be giving health advice and they're fat. And I'm like, how does that correlate? It's like, because again, and this is a lot of you guys, if you're thinkers, right? And this was one of these things for me, because I was a thinker as well, at least thinking dominant. Because you would think and you would have all this information, right? All this information, you know this, you know that, you know this, you know that. But understanding all of that information is vanity. It's vanity. It's simply for you to mentally masturbate and tell yourself like, oh, wow, I know so much. Because knowledge without application is useless. Knowledge without application is useless. Let me give you an example. I want you to imagine that you're a doctor. Let's say you're a doctor. You have all of the information. In fact, you went through the whole thing, residency, everything. So you know how to do a lot of things. Well, somebody is in a restaurant, right? And they're passed out. And they go, is there a doctor in the house? Anybody? And nobody stands up. Nobody raises their hand. You're a doctor. But you know what you decide to do? You decide to go, no, I'm good. You are just as valuable in that moment as everybody else who doesn't know ish about being a doctor. You guys are on the same level. And so the reason why I'm saying that is because there's a lot of you that just because you think you understand these things, or maybe because you do understand these things, if you haven't applied it to your life, you're just as useful as a person who doesn't know it. You guys are the same person. And so what a lot of guys will do is, again, it's called mental masturbation, is they'll just like, they'll give me all the schematics and the other stuff and the because it's vanity. They just want to know that they know. They want to hear themselves talk. But for me, I remember making this transition. I said, why knowing this stuff is awesome, but if I'm still living the same BS life as a person who doesn't know that, what does that really say about me? And if we're really getting technical, that makes you dumb. You know better and you still don't do better. That makes you dumb. And see, the person who doesn't know, at least they have an excuse. But if you know and you fail to do it, that makes you dumb. Now listen. This is where we start to not only understand the information. Knowing the information is just one part of it, okay? But and again, whether you guys know or don't know, I'm certified in behavior change. And what I learned in behavior change is behavior change comes in stages, right? The first stage is basically like a person doesn't know that they need to change. The second stage is they're thinking about changing. Most people are here thinking about change. And in fact, what they do, and again, called mental masturbation, they imagine themselves as if they're doing the action. There's a study, I don't want to get into too deep in this, but there's a study that's basically like, it had somebody doing physical exercise and then a person imagining themselves doing exercise. Obviously, the person who did the exercise gained muscle, but what they found is the person who was thinking about it showed muscle. They had muscle too. Now again, very insignificant amount of muscle, but it was a positive growth. It was great for them not doing anything. Essentially, what I'm saying is, whenever you are thinking about doing something, your brain will still give you the chemicals Not as full capacity, but it will still give you enough to make you believe that you are doing something. This is why, like, a lot of my motivational content, I've kind of tuned it down a little bit, because I noticed a lot of guys would come in and they'd be like, yeah, MD, yeah. But then 3, 6, 9 months later, when I ask them or check on them, like, oh yeah, bro, how's everything going? They're still stuck. They're still struggling. And it's like, bro, where'd all that energy go? But again, it's because, again, in their mind, when they're hyped up and they're doing all this thing, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass this test. I'm going to get this money. I'm going to do all that. Just going through that is enough for them to be like, all right. And then boom, sit on Netflix, dirty movies, the whole 9. You guys know what I'm talking about. So that's when I started switching my content to being a little bit more colder and a little bit more masculine, because it's not listen, being motivated is awesome. Being motivated is awesome. But again, that's on the emotional side. And the real change comes from the logical side. And the logical side only cares about if you took an action or if you did not take an action, period. There is nothing in between that. Did you do it? Yes or no? In fact, if you are joining the community, the group that I'm hosting, if you were part of the past ones, if we were on a call together, one of the things that I would do is I would go like this. I'm like, hey man, I'm just checking in on you. Did you do X, Y, Z? Right? And the person I have so many conversations. People say and do the same things all the time. They go like, oh, well, bro, but excuses this and excuses and you know, excuses and excuses and excuses. And back in the day, I used to just let them go like, I used to go like this. I'd be like, Yep, I hear them all out. It'd take them 5, 10, 20 minutes to explain some bullshit, right? But again, at the end of what they said, now I just cut people off. But at the end of what they said, I asked them again. I say, so did you do it? Well, you know, and again, there are some guys, and again, this is a real problem, especially if you have it. They can't answer a straightforward answer. They can't be like yes or no. They have to give me some long-winded psychotherapy. I don't care. Nobody cares. Did you do it? Because again, I'm taking the form of masculinity for you. Did you do it? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? And at the answer, and every time it's like no. And I'm like, thank you. Now we can move on. You know what I'm saying? You wasted 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes talking about some shit that I don't care about. Did you do it? Yes or no? No, I didn't do it. Great. Now we can figure out why. Let's go back, because again, we're in the logical. The logical is you have to complete a certain action, let's just say every single day. You have to complete a certain action every single day. And so what that means is you either did the action or you didn't do the action. Pure masculine, did or didn't. Okay, out of the 7 days, you did it 3 times. Okay, so boom, that's your operating percentage, 3 out of 7. So now when we're having a conversation, I'm asking, what happened those other 4 days? Right? Well, you know, I was feeling this and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, what happened in those 3 days or those 4 days? What made you not do it? I was lazy. Bro, let me tell you, this is how conversations goes between 2 masculine people, right? Hey man, you were supposed to do this 7 days out of 7. How many days did you do it? I did it 3 days. Okay, well, what happened to the other 4 days? I was lazy and I talked myself out of it. Okay, so do you know the trigger that happened beforehand that stops you from being lazy or the motivation, or what do you think is the problem with that? Oh, well, the problem is I'm undisciplined because at night I tend to scroll on TikTok and I do this. Okay, bro, well, instead of scrolling on TikTok, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to give you your TikTok time, but let's dedicate 30 minutes to doing the action and then reward yourself, quote unquote, with TikTok. How's that sound? Okay, yeah, man, let's try it. That's how conversations are supposed to go. That's not how conversations go between a lot of the guys that I talk to, right? The way that conversation goes, I'm like, hey, man, did you do it? Oh, well, you know, excuses for 10 minutes. Hey, man, did you do it? Well, no, I didn't do it. Okay, man, well, what stopped you? Well, you know, I just don't think that, 10, 15 minutes go by of them making up some bullshit that don't matter. And I'm like, and again, because I know how to communicate, I know how to take a person from up here to down here to down here to down here to the root of the cause, and then we can implement changes, right? But that's what happens. Most men, when they're having conversation, they're so happy and they're so emotional to have a conversation that they just go off in these multiple different directions based on their feelings, when this is not a feelings-based conversation. You guys see how I keep going off on like tangents and these other. Anyways, let's come back. So as a man, you're building out your values, you're building out your beliefs, you're building out your character, and you understand this is the man that I want to be. The biggest pitfall that most guys do is they want that to be validated by other people. Other people usually are not going to give you that validation because the version of manhood that you instill for yourself that helps you accomplish your dreams, your goals, your visions, and helps other people around you, the ones closest to you, it does not match their version of what a man should be. And so what they're going to do is they're going to give you some BS advice that they may have good intentions. But again, they never asked you what it is that you want to accomplish in your life. So how are they going to give you any type of advice? How does that work? How are you going to tell somebody they should do this when you don't know their ultimate goal of what it is that they're pursuing? How does that work? Let me give you the quick answer for that. It doesn't. Right? You understand what I'm saying? And so as a man, this is why it's not a lonely journey, but you have to take the journey by yourself. This is who you are as a man, and you do not seek validation from other people. So let's go ahead and talk about a little different. Let me tell you this quick story real quick. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. How many years ago was that? Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. I was a box truck driver, right? 60 hours a week. If you have the opportunity to be a box truck driver, it makes good money. You're not going to have a life, but it made good money. Anyway, there was me. I was training with this girl because she was she was my trainer. And then there was another guy. So the guy worked with a different company, but we would all go to the same place. This is where I learned about how infrastructure, how people wake up at the crack of dawn to fill the very livelihood that people have no idea about. Anyways, we get to the place, and I'm standing there because I'm training, so I don't really know what to do. And then there's another guy, and then the person who receives us, right, he opens the door, So we're having a conversation. The guy goes, "Oh, hold on. You guys go ahead and unload that. I'll be right back." So he leaves, and so it's me, the girl, and the guy. Now, the girl had to pick something up heavy. Now, just for the record here, she was like one of them G.I. Joe Butch type hoes, right? So, or what? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nicer. She was one of those type of women. So she wasn't no like dainty, 110 pound. She wasn't one of them. Even if she was, this still applies. Anyways, she had to lift something like heavy. And when I mean heavy, I mean like 30 pounds. So it wasn't heavy at all. She was thinking about lifting it, and she goes, "Oh man, I really don't want to lift these boxes." And she kind of like looked at us, and I'm sitting here staring at her like, "Bitch, that's what you get paid for." Like, what are you talking? Anyways, and the other dude, he was looking at her the same, and she goes, "Wow, I thought there were some real men here. A real man went and let me lift this up." And the dude, almost like she had some type of like, what's that thing called? Like almost like he was a sleeper agent. He just like, oh, and he runs over there and he picks it up. And I'm thinking, ew. Because again, who the fuck is this girl to tell you who a real man or man isn't? What are you talking about? But again, most dudes operate this way. They operate that way. I remember in high school, it was me, this other dude, and the two girls. I was friends with the two girls, right? The other dude just joined because he was a friend of one of the other girls. Anyways, we were at a hibachi spot, right? If you gotta know hibachi spots where they cook the food in front of you, we're at a hibachi spot. The bill comes. Obviously, I'm like separate checks because I'm not. These ain't my women. We're friends. Everybody, you know what I mean? Pay for yourselves. This dude goes, put those girls' checks on mine, and I remember because one of the girls, she looked at me like, she was like, and I looked at her like, what the fuck? We looked at each other like, what? And he goes, when girls are at the table, they don't pay for no meals around me. And I'm thinking to myself like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm like, that is the stupidest shit. Anyways, but again, whether I think is dumb or not, which it was. Because again, he wasn't even sleeping with anyways. Whether it was dumb or not, I know that he is a simp. I mean, Silverus. He was silver. He's Silverus. And so that's what I'm talking about. It's like, for me, sweetheart, you're picking up your own bills, right? We all have jobs here. You know what I mean? And the girls, of course, allowed him to pay because what? But he has this foundational rule or belief or whatever. I don't care where it comes from, but he says that whatever women are around him, they don't pay for anything. Whatever. Do I think that's dumb? Yes. Am I going to take my time to explain to him why he needs to undo that? No, I'm not. Because that's what being a man is. Like I said, the highest pinnacle of manhood is doing whatever you want at any time that you want to. Now, again, like I said, I'm going to keep saying this disclaimer. Don't be dumb. You can't do anything you want unless you're willing to DIE over it. Unless you're willing to cut curtains, unless you're willing to get deleted over it, you're not going to do everything you want. But when it comes to the realm of living your own life, sacrificing your own time, your attention, your energy, dying about your beliefs and all these other things, you can take it to that point. That's what I'm saying. Most dudes will die over something. I like how I spelled it like 30 seconds ago, and now it's like whatever. Most dudes will die over it. And it'll be over something that they didn't even personally believe. They just were told to believe it. So that's where we're at. We're at the point where when not the pinnacle of manhood, when you're not even transitioning, when you're solidifying your manhood, you have to have this built out. You have to have out your values, your beliefs, your morals, your character. You have to have this built out. And then that's the first step, is building it out. Right? Because that's a mental battle, a psychological battle, because that requires that you take the things that were given to you and toss them to the side. And again, it doesn't even mean delete it. It just means take it to the side of you to reevaluate, to say, do I believe everything that this has to teach me? And if the answer is yes, then you instill it in yourself. That's when you're like, okay, this is who I am. Right? It's like, and I want to move on from this point. It's the equivalent of when you're able to do this successfully, you no longer explain to people why you feel this way or why you take these actions. You don't explain to it, because who is this person? So I'll take a common example of people who believe in God versus people who don't believe in God. I believe it's like atheists or agnostic. I think it's atheists, right? And so usually what will happen is atheists will come into godly spaces for whatever reason, and they'll be like, well, this is wrong. Hey, well, prove to me that this is real. And you'll have real people actually engage in a debate like, oh, well, it's real because of this. If you turn to Luke chapter or the Quran or the Buddha or whatever, if you turn to this, to which in my thing, let me turn on this light. I like this light better. So which my thing is, whenever you know that you're at that point in your manhood where you don't even have that conversation with people. Because why? Why would I have this conversation with you? There's a guy, I was on I make my retention videos sometimes. And there was a guy who said, unless you're coming on here to give us the evidence, or he said list the study or something. He was one of those guys, right? List the study, that the double-backed peer-reviewed study, whatever, that proves your point. And I'm thinking to myself, kick rocks? Now, I said it meaner in my head, but I'm like, of course I didn't respond to it, but in my mind, I'm like, who do you think you are? This is where it's like, it doesn't make sense. Because you want me, listen, I love this part. You want me, the person who's experiencing the benefits, the person who's getting something out of this, and who is around people who are also experiencing the benefits, who are also improving their lives through these things. You want me to take the time, attention, and energy to convince you, to help you. That doesn't make sense. Am I tripping? How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. Listen, because here's what I learned a long time ago when I started thinking about this really. If I don't prove anything to you, you're the only person who doesn't benefit. You're the only one. Why? And again, and the reason why this gets me hyped up is because they'll step to you as if it's your job to prove some shit to them. If I myself am getting results, real results, and the people that I coach, or the people who listen to me are getting results, why would I have to prove anything to you? All you're telling me to do, not even asking me, you're telling me, convince me so I can believe it, so I can help myself. No, that's dumb. But again, you wouldn't believe how many people will do this against something that they wholeheartedly believe. Let me say this. I run my relationships a specific way. And I'm talking my romantic relationships. I run them a specific way. If I were to publicly tell everybody how I ran my relationships, and again, Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine that. The dumpster fire that is the internet, certain sides of the internet, would come from my neck. They not only would come from my neck, they would then try to go and weasel and find the person I'm involved with and then message them to try to teach, like, hey, you don't need to do that. You should do. They'll try to do that nonsense. And it's like, my thing is, what usually people will do is they like to defend themselves. Defending yourself is like a natural thing. Oh, well, no, I believe that because of this. I'm not defending shit. I'm not defending anything. Because here's the best part about my relationship. It's my relationship. If you don't like my relationship, don't date me. It's really that simple. But again, people don't like that. They don't want anybody. And again, you could go on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, type in cooking for my man, serving my man, spa day for my man, whatever. I guarantee you, it will take you 30 seconds, less than that. You'll find a video and there's going to be a woman in the comments that says, I would never do that for my man. Where is he doing that for you? Is he doing that for you? I can't stand them hoes so bad. I can't stand them so bad because it's like nobody asked you. Nobody asked you. If you don't want to be in a relationship to where you're serving your man, don't be in a relationship to where you're serving your man. It's that simple. But again, people feel the need. They itch. They need to just be like, no, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that, girl, unless she's doing that. And then you have some people. I think this is pathetic personally. You have some people, and usually it's women who do it. Well, they'll go in the comments or the caption will say something like, they can never say something like, just felt like serving my man today. This is a normal in my house. I love serving my man. No, they have to like preface it with, well, my man did something for me last week and now I'm doing something for him. I'm returning the favor. They have to mention that, right? Because again, they value the opinions of other people. They need to look a certain way when it comes to other women because some women value the looks and the opinions of women who clearly don't give a fuck about them, don't care about them. They look at those women and they hold those opinions to those women. One, because women are vicious, a lot more vicious than people give them credit for. Take this from somebody who used to be a server. I was in a female-dominated space. Women are vicious, and I mean extremely vicious. Not men, not in a man's way. Men will maybe get physical if we reach that point. Women, A woman will make a fake Instagram account, TikTok account, whatever. She'll follow that girl on everything and then leave hate comments to her for months. For months. Not a day, not a week. And again, when I say one account, I don't mean one. I mean like 10, 20. She will dedicate her, oh my gosh. Let me tell you this. Because I've been in that environment and I've seen girls plot it out together and then execute on it. Now, when I look at those videos, Let me tell you one I did. It was like months ago because I wanted to see if I was correct, right? I wanted to see if I was correct, but I knew I was. I wanted to see it. There was this video, this woman, she was serving her man, right? Great content, making him some food. She was giving him a massage, whatever. Put the food in front of him. One of the comments was basically like trashing her, like, "Oh, every video we see, he's never doing this for you." Da 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 da. So she makes a return video, right? Now again, she doesn't show her man's face. She doesn't show her man's face, but you can see like the back of his head, and you know he's there, right? So she goes to she makes another video, and she says, "There's a lot of girls who are mad at me for serving my boyfriend, and I don't understand that because it's not your relationship, it's not your boyfriend. Just leave me on a relationship. If I want to serve and put it on the internet, I'm going to put that on the internet." Da 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 da. Bro, listen, I get on because I'm like, first of all, a lot of women don't not only do this publicly, a lot of girls will do this privately to degenerates, but not only does she not do it publicly, but she does it publicly, and then she defended against the hive mind that is a lot of women. That there's a reason why a lot of women don't go against the hive mind, because the hive mind is vicious. Okay, I get on this video because I'm like, whenever there's a strong woman, whenever there's a strong woman, a cool woman, a woman who's great at banter, witty, whatever, there's some man in her life that she got that from. And I'm not saying that to be sexist or misogynistic. I'm being real. I've proven this to myself so many times. It's either her father, her brother, her uncle. There's a man in her life, right? Or her ex-boyfriend, something. Anyways, so I'm thinking whenever I see a woman that's well-mannered, she's more feminine, I need to see the man, right? Because I'm like, if I can see the man, I know why that she's doing that, right? Because he may have a page, he may be. It just is what it is, okay? So I'm trying to find her man. I find a picture of her man. Her man's an average dude, okay? When I say average dude, I mean like a 5, okay? So he's not some 6'3" Chad chiseled jawline dude. He's not this dude. He's like a regular dude. I get in the comment section of that video, and there was a girl, and again, I know TikTok does that. I don't know if Instagram does it. TikTok will tell you how long ago somebody left a comment. Excuse me. They'll put the date. They'll timestamp it. And this was aligned with the video that the girl defended, like her man and her relationship and her ability to serve her man. And there was a girl in her comment section, again, fake Insta or Finsta or whatever, or fake TikTok, whatever profile. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know why you're defending this ugly dude so much. If I was you, I would." It was so, and again, it wasn't just one. It was like a couple. And then when I say I scrolled to find this dude, I scrolled, all right? And so again, this is what a lot of women have to deal with behind the scenes, because again, men, we're very forward in your face, right? Women, they're operating in the shadows. And so again, she's going to have to, unless she turns off all notifications, she's going to be looking at her notifications, and it's going to be another girl attacking her, another girl attacking her, another girl attacking her. And when women attack you, they don't attack you physically. They go after things that are psychologically. They go after things that are of the mental, of the emotional. And because they're women, they know your deepest insecurities that the average woman has. And so this is what I mean when I say a lot of girls are vicious, because they go after that ruthlessly, continuously for months on end. You understand what I'm saying? A man, if we get into a fight and I punch you in the face, you have a black eye, that'll heal. You understand? Psychological damage, nitpicking you after every day, for months. There's a reason, trust me, there's a reason why women are afraid of the hive mind. And when I seen it firsthand, I completely get it. I'm like, yeah, I understand why she doesn't go against that. Because you're gonna deal with it all day. And I wanna go back to the point, but let me say this first. This is how deep it gets. Not only will they do that, but have you guys ever heard the term like women are CIA agents or FBI agents? Basically, like they're like, "Hey, I need to know about this dude," and then the dude, the mob of girls will go look up everything about him. They'll have his job. They'll know the last 3 houses that he was at. They know his ex-girlfriend. They follow his mom on Facebook. All that other stuff. You guys ever seen that before? Right? Girls will do that, but again, when I tell you, The trolls and the people who don't like me or my channel, they'll leave a comment, maybe two, but then they're gone. Girls will research your entire life and find everything and will nitpick at you for months. I'm telling you, that's why a lot of girls will pretend to be obtuse. Like they don't, he just wants to be friends. I didn't know. Or he just wants to be my friend. Right? Of course. Because if they go against that hive mind, they know what's coming for them. Having a man be mad at you, he's going to be mad at you and then he maybe delete you out of his life, and then that's it. Having a woman be mad at you, nah, absolutely not. And don't let them click up, because they'll click. I'm done talking about that. Let me see what y'all are saying. Dondrell, what's up, bro? Got the 100 emoji. Appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate that. So let's get back to it. Where was I going with that? So I'm going through the framework in my mind. As you start to develop into your manhood, you understand you have to develop your personal values, beliefs, character, morals, the whole nine. Then you have to make sure that you're the source of validation is only coming from you. The source of validation is only coming from you, which means you ask yourself, do I like this? If the answer is yes, that's all you need. You don't need anybody else's opinions. You don't need anybody else to weigh in on it and hype you up or bring you down. You don't need any of that, right? This is for you. Once you are able to solidify that, then it's simply, that was the first part. That's the mental part, is building that out. Now is the harder part, which is taking it from the mental, taking it from the spiritual, and moving it to the physical, okay? A person will ask me, how do I become more masculine? Very easy, or very simple. Take more masculine action. Take more magical, magical. Take more masculine action. How do I take more masculine action? Take more logical action. The actions should be rooted in, should have some sort of foundation. It should have a stepping stone, right? So as an example, it's like if I wanted to be more masculine, then and again, this is just a very small part, then I would start going to the gym. Why does me being masculine mean going to the gym? It doesn't mean you going to the gym. What it really means is you being disciplined enough and being consistent enough to take certain actions every single day or every other day, and you're going that. Just the act of that is making you more masculine. You understand what I'm saying? Now, of course, masculinity is broad. There's a lot of different things, such as courage. How do I gain more courage? You have to put yourself in certain action or certain situations that require you to be more courageous. Then you have to take the courageous action. And if you continue to do that, you will be courageous. Everything is the same as far as this. It's about the actions that you are taking, okay? So again, once we have that, now it's about the actions as far as solidifying that character. So again, like I said, if you're trying to be more courageous, if you're trying to be more masculine, you have to take more masculine action. You have to take more courageous actions. You have to put yourself in positions to where it requires you to be masculine, or it requires you to be courageous, or requires you to be more disciplined, consistent, yada, yada. Now that we've built out the character is made up of morals, beliefs, values. The character acts a certain way. Let's talk about social intelligence. So when I say character, I literally mean that, a character. I want you to imagine that we're watching some high school movie, right? High school movie. Let's just say a high school movie. What are the characters that you're going to see in a high school movie? You're going to see the jocks. Okay, you're going to see the cheerleaders. You're going to see the popular kids. You're going to see the weird kids, the goth emo kids, the anime kids, the yo-yo kids. Did you guys have yo-yo kids? I had yo-yo kids in high school. Did you guys have those? Anyways, there's going to be these different characters, okay? And the reason why we're calling them characters is because if I said, who is more likely going to play sports, you're going to tell me what? The jock. The jock is going to be more likely to play sports. Who's going to be listening to hardcore pop rock or metal music? The emo goth kids. You're going to, you know what I'm saying? Now again, of course, there's range. You know, when it comes to these things, you could be a jock and still be an emo, or a jock and still, you know what I'm saying? You could do all these things. But I want to take it to the foundation of it. So when you're building out your character, 9 times out of 10, especially if you're socially intelligent, your character, you should be able to see your character in real life. You should be able to see that in real life, right? Whether he's the jock, or as you get older, it's no longer a it's no longer a jock. You're an athlete. You know what I mean? Athletes, you could tell a person played basketball or something in high school because they continue to do it afterwards. They go to the YMCA. They go they play flag football. They're involved in sports. That's that person. Okay. And the same thing for everything else. The people who were businessmen or hustlers, these things didn't just happen. They usually happened in childhood or teenage years or whatever. Everybody, and at least if you were aware, there were people in your high school or college who were selling something all the time. There was the people who had the snacks. Did you guys have those in your school? The people who would sell snacks, or the people who would sell like cookies, or the people who would sell XYZ. There's always those types of people. Those are hustlers, right? Those are business people or whatever. When they grow up and they become businessmen, you're like, yeah, that's aligned with their character. Some people never had a character growing up, which is okay. Because like I said in the high school movie, there's these people, right? The jocks, the teenagers, the whatever. But guess what there always is? Background characters. People who don't have character. They're pedestrians. They're norms. You know what I'm saying? They're the normals. These are people who are just normal, everyday people. But again, of course, because it's a movie, nobody's focusing on those people. Normal people get with normal people. And so you have to, as you get older, you have to ask yourself, who is my character? Who is my character? And sometimes if you can't do this, you have to ask people closest to you so they can give you the raw truth. I remember when I was younger, I want to say like in high school, I was having a conversation like that. And he was like, yeah, man, it's like, if I ever wanted to talk about like philosophy or something, I know I can go to you. And I thought to myself, like, I'm a philosopher type? Like, what the And again, I was like, what? But again, because they knew if they wanted to have a deep conversation about something, they could come to me. I didn't know that was just a part of my character. Like doing that deep and all this other stuff, giving you guys game and insight. I've always been like this. Most of the time, I'm doing it for myself. I'm observing things. I'm putting pieces together to help my own life. It's only about 3 years ago that I started just giving it out and people were being receptive to it, right? But again, this is what you have to understand. Nowadays, because again, philosopher or whatever the hell, that's a thinking individual. And as I started to get older, I wanted to unlearn that. Because thinking, again, I learned thinking without application is useless. Yet, bro, because I was the thinking type, it's like, if I wanted to rebuild the black community from the ground up, I have the plan in my head. It's actually very easy, if I'm being honest with you. Now, did it take me a while to figure it out? Of course. But did I solve it? Of course. Yes. But here's what I learned. If I don't have power, if I don't have influence, if I don't have money, if I don't have all these things, it doesn't matter what I have. It doesn't matter. And that's when I learned, when I reached the pinnacle of like, this is the answer. And I desperately, for years, was trying to get people on board with this. That's when I learned, I said, okay. Information without application is useless. And so then I started focusing on myself because I said the reason why I'm trying to save all these other people is because I'm not trying to focus on saving myself. Once I did that, made that internal decision, I'm like, okay, now I have to unlearn the philosopher archetype of whatever and focus on application. And that's where masculine development came from, because then I started working on my masculinity. Then I started working on my action taking. That's when I started working on all these things, and I went through my masculine journey. In my masculine journey, that's why I found out it's like it doesn't care about anything. Did you do it? Yes or no? Did you do it? Yes or no? Did you do it? Yes or no? Because when you do things continuously over a period of time, you will get the result. 100%. You take somebody who's not going to the gym, okay, and they want to lose weight. You take somebody who is going to the gym and he wants to lose weight. Even if the person who is going to the gym and being more active has no clue what he's doing, if he is going every single day, he is going to get results. Versus the other person. Now listen, think about masculinity. Masculinity is going to give you results. It's going to give you results. Now, those results are based off the actions and the frequency and the effort that you're going to take. But again, just because he is taking steps forward in the right direction, he's going to get the results. Now, here's where a lot of people get messed up at. Where people get messed up at is when you first, let me gather my thoughts here. Okay, I got it. Most people go from taking no action, okay? And in the behavior training that I took, people have what's called a dichotomous mindset. A dichotomous mindset means I either do it perfectly or I don't do it at all. And that's extremely dangerous because if you're not, first of all, nobody's perfect. Second of all, what that is a mental defense that stops you from taking action. But if you're able to transition into taking action, whether you know what you're doing or not, just the transition alone allows you to get some type of results. Now, those results may not be the results that you want, but they're going to be results, which is a step in the right direction. What most guys do is they overvalue or over-celebrate the transition period of going from not taking action to taking action, right? Because they think, well, now that I'm taking action, everything is solved. No, you are at the very first level, really, of what it takes to take action. So what is next? And this is where a lot of the people that I coach and people who are joining the community, this is where they're at. Yes, you're taking action, but let's be honest, bro. And I don't know what you're doing right now, but I really want you to say it to yourself, whether in your head or out loud. I want you to ask yourself, when it comes to your health, are you operating at the level that you need to be to get the results that you ultimately want? Yes or no? And here's the thing, right? Let's be men here. Let's be transparent here. We know the answer. Let's be honest. This is not confusing. So just to bypass your mental defense that some of you guys have of over-explaining stuff, I just want a yes or no. That's all I want. I just want a yes or no. If you give me anything more than a yes or no, you failed, okay? You're going back to the feminine. I need masculine yes or no. Are you operating at the level that you need to be to get what you want when it comes to your health? Yes or no? Okay? Boom. Let's get health out the way. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move wealth. Are you doing everything that you need to be doing at the level that you need to be doing it to experience the level of wealth that you would like to experience? Yes or no? Okay, let's move that to the side. Relationships, this is the big one. Oh my God, this is cope city for most dudes. 95% of dudes cope when it comes to relationships. It's ridiculous. Are you taking part in the actions that are going to ultimately give you the results that you are looking for when it comes to your relationships? Yes or no? Okay, let's move off to the side. When it comes to your purpose, every single day, do you feel like you are waking up and living in your purpose and participating in all of the actions that are aligned with your purpose? Yes or no? Now listen, if you said no to any of those things, right? If you said no to any of them, you're in trouble, okay? If you said no to two or more, you're in deep trouble, because what that means is you're getting results you're getting results that is going to, I don't want to say manifest, it's going to show up in your life as whatever it is that you believe. So if you are mediocre, first of all, if you're not doing anything, okay, you're on the opposite of what it is that you are trying to do. I'm trying to get in shape. I'm trying to get fit. I'm not doing anything. That means you're fat. You understand? I'm not doing anything when it comes to my income or my savings or my investment. That means you're broke. You understand what I'm saying? And again, this is not me. Don't be childish. This is not me saying, ha ha, you're broke. Ha ha, you're fat. No, this is me holding up a mirror and I'm asking you, is this the truth? The truth is, you're not doing what you need to be doing when it comes to your health. The truth is, you're not doing when it comes to your wealth. The truth is, you're not doing what you need to be doing when it comes to relationships, and you're not doing what you need to be doing with purpose. That's the truth. And so here's where we get real masculinity. This is where it's at. This is where, see, most guys, when I say, bro, you're fat, they go leave a hate comment and then leave. That's useless. That doesn't help. The reason why I'm here is because I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get you to realize, like, wait a minute, I'm bull crapping. Let me go ahead and start taking steps forward, right? So it's not me about pointing and laughing. It's helping you understand where you're at. Where are you? And so again, wherever you're at in your life, when it comes to those 4 things that I mentioned, okay? Wherever you're at, when it comes to those things, you want to ask yourself, excuse me, you want to ask yourself, at what level, I call it an operating percentage, at what operating percentage are you active, or are you operating in? So it's a 0 to 100, okay? And let me say this before you answer that. The average person who doesn't have a journal, who hasn't written down a vision, which if you don't have a journal, if you haven't written down the vision, don't give yourself anything above 40%. Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? If you don't, well, the average person who doesn't have a journal, who doesn't have a vision, who doesn't have these things, who doesn't understand exactly what it is that they want, they don't have a list of actions, right? They're operating 20%. That the average normal person is operating at 20%. Out of 100, they're operating at 20%. This is why, especially in America, the average person is overweight. The average person is broke. The average person is in a garbage relationship or hasn't had any type of relations with anybody in a long time. This is why a lot of people feel like they have no purpose, because they're operating at 20%. And again, I'm going to move on, but one of the biggest bangers as far as that came to me when it comes to something like this is, my thing was, because sometimes I'll get people who are Christians or people who just believe in God in general. And I said, you mean to tell me you're telling me that you have no purpose and you serve a God, which means not even God himself trusts you with purpose. You think God doesn't have something that you can do, but you're waking up as a believer, by the way, you're waking up and you have no purpose. That means God don't even trust you with it. That should be a wake-up call for you spiritually. Okay, but let's move that to the side. So again, if you don't have these things at the level that you want, you have to ask yourself, where am I operating? Most people, 20%. If you have a journal, if you have it written down, a vision written down, if you have the action plan written down, I'll give you 50%. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you 40% off rip. And if you're taking action, I'll give you 50%. Okay? But when I asked you those questions earlier, I said, are you at the level that you want to be at? You said no. Okay? Most of you said no. You said no. So then my next logical masculine question would be, well, what's stopping you? What's getting in the way? If you said something that is outside of yourself, oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough connections, if you said any type of BS excuse, I'm going to be the first person to tell you that it's an excuse. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. No matter how you look at it, no matter how great the excuse is, listen, I'll give it to you. You have the perfect excuse. But at the end of the day, it's an excuse. It's an excuse. And what did I say earlier? The masculine only cares about what? Did you do it or not? It doesn't care about your excuse. It doesn't care how good it is. It could be perfect. It doesn't care. Did you do it or not? You didn't do it. Okay, great. So now we have to figure out what is it doing. Because usually when I'm on a call with somebody and they're really on the fence about joining the community or being one-on-one coached with me, they're like, I don't really, and I'm asking, I'm like, everything that you have done up until this point has gotten you the result that you have. Yes or no? And I want you to answer this too. Everything that you have done up until this point has gotten you the result that you have. Yes or no? The answer is yes. Okay? So if that's true, my question to you is this where you want to be? Yes or no? The answer is no. This is not where you want to be. You want to be more. You want to get to that next level. Great. So would it be logical, hear me, would it be logical to only rely on yourself to take you there? Let's review, because I have to do this. Let's review. We just said that everything that you have up until this point was because of your actions, true or false? True. And because of the actions, if we sum up all the actions and we have the result, are you satisfied with the results that you have? Yes or no? No. That means that you're only able to give you what you have now because that's what you've given yourself. A lot of guys will be like, oh, no, I'm actually, because of this. I'm like, if you were there, you would have those results, but you don't. And so this is why you work with somebody else. Not only is this backed by science, and when I mean backed by science, if you have an accountability coach, community, something, your chances of you doing a certain action goes up. Guess how much it goes up by? Guess how much it goes up by, right? So if I said, you have a 10% more chance of doing it, is that good? Yeah, sure. If I said you have a 25% chance of doing it, is that good? Sure. 50% chance. Oh, wow, that's kind of high. What about 70% chance? You're like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a easy, because that's more probable than a coin flip. More probable. The science says if you have an accountability partner or a community that you're checking in with regularly, okay, the chances of you doing the action goes up 95%. Let me say this, 95%. Are you hearing me? This is one of those things where it's like, it's a no-brainer for you to go find that. Because just by default of showing up, your operating percentage is going to increase. Now, increase by how much? I can't tell you that. But again, and you'll know this if you're deep in the game, if you're going to the gym, right, there's a difference between 1 set and 2 sets. There's a difference between 2 sets and 3 sets. And there's a difference between 3 sets and 4 sets. Huge difference. Now, again, if you're a person, usually most people who go to the gym, you start off with 3 sets. But here, let me tell you something that I noticed back in the bodybuilding days when I used to watch a whole bunch of fitness influencers. Whenever I would watch them work out, and again, it was something, because I'm really good at pattern recognition, but whenever I looked, they were always doing 4 sets. Always. 4 sets of 10. 4 sets of 10 to 12. 4 sets of 8. It was always 4 sets. And I remember, I was like, I'm only doing 3. But everybody who was doing 4 looked fantastic. Every single one of them. Now, again, 4 may not be the answer, but it was something they all had in common. There's another one. There's a YouTube account. It's called Body by Mark, right? He has a great shorts channel. And basically, he's some older dude, and he goes up to fit people. He goes, hey, I go around and I ask fit, jacked people what they do for their workouts, right? And so he'll have them talk about their workouts. He'll have them talk about their diet. He'll talk about the things that they don't. Bro, and again, it's so great because it's just all his videos are that. Just different jacked people. Everybody who had the body type that I wanted, one of the things that I noticed is that they're not big on carbs. Well, one of the biggest ones is they don't drink alcohol. It was one of the most common things that they all say. If they're ripped and shredded and all this stuff, they don't drink alcohol. Or the people that do, it's like, they're like, rare. And the other one was their carb source was different. It's either fruits and vegetables, sweet potatoes, or something like they stay away from bread. They stay away from all this other stuff. Now, listen, I love me some bread, so that's going to be toughy for me. But listen, what I noticed, I was like, oh, that's something that's what happens when you're around people. When you're around people who are operating at a higher level, at the same level or a higher level than yourself, you start noticing tips and tricks. See, one of the things that I had in the group is, I want to say it's on Telegram. So whenever you complete an action, right? Like say like this live is one of my actions. When I finish the live, I get on the group and I say, just completed my live, right? Because the live is aligned with my goals. You're going to get a notification. It's going to boom. MD said he completed his live. You're going to be like, dang, MD's crushing it. Dang, let me go do something. So then you get up and you go do something because one, you want to join a community. You want to join in on the activity. But two, you want to make sure that like you're also doing something that you need to be doing. Because let's be honest, whatever it is that you're trying to do, it does not take a lot of time to do it. Learning a different language does not take that much time to do it. Going to the gym, being realistic, you need 30 minutes to an hour. If we're being honest. Now, can you go a lot longer than that? Obviously. But if you're just trying to be in shape, 30 minutes to an hour. Easy, right? Meal prepping may take an hour or two. But again, in the grand scheme of things, nothing. These things are not hard to do. The hardest thing is being consistent and disciplined in it. This is why you're in the group, because you know next week when I'm on the call with you or I'm in a message with you or we're on a group call together and I'm saying, hey, man, did you do that? How's that going? You have to tell me, no, bro, I don't want to do it. Listen, the first week you may say, now again, if you have mental toughness, okay, right, you're going to keep showing up. Most guys will either not show up as if I don't notice and I don't have your number and I can't call you, right? Like, who are you fooling? But if you do show up, the first week you be like, nah, I didn't do it. The second week you're gonna be like, nah, I didn't do it. I've seen this happen, bro, and people tell me it's a testimony. That third week, bro, you're gonna get it done. And you know why you're gonna get it done? This is the same thing they tell me all the time. They say, the reason why I did it, the reason why I got it done is because I didn't want to go another week and tell you that I didn't do it. That was the reason. They didn't want to tell me that they failed it again. Now listen, here's how I see it. You may see it a different way. Here's how I see it. I don't care how you got it done. The fact that the only thing I care about it is you got it done. You understand what I'm saying? I am a results person. I only care about did you do it or not. I don't care what the motivation was. I don't care. I care about did you do it? Did you do it? And that's what happens. People just get things done. People get things done. So here's the thing that we've learned. We've learned, as far as right now, we've learned that everything that you've done up to this point has given you the results that you're asking for. Or giving you the results that you have right now. And I'm asking you, are these results good enough? Is this the results that you're looking for? If the answer is no, then you have to understand that you have topped out at your limit. And that's not anything to be ashamed of. Most dudes are walking around like they have to be this lone wolf. Lone wolves don't exist. They don't exist. Go out here and try to survive without a community. Go outside. Good luck with electricity, internet, food, water, housing, insulation, AC. Bro, come on. Stop it. Stop it. You're not a lone wolf. I don't care how dark and mysterious you are, bro. You're not a lone wolf. The clothes on your back was made, shipped, retailed, sold by somebody else before it got to you. You understand what I'm saying? You need people. And so now we're looking at, where do I need people the most? And the most important part that you need people at, that people bypass and skip, is optimizing your life as far as keeping you focused to get the things that you ultimately want. You guys hearing what I'm saying? Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Shaquille David, hey guys, what's up, bro? Welcome in. Creating TB, what's up, bro? Preach. Shaquille, agree. I appreciate that, y'all. So listen, like the video if you haven't liked the video. I really appreciate that. And again, if I'm spitting facts, y'all go ahead and hit that Cash App. I really appreciate that. That's going to keep me motivated to keep going. So let's go ahead and do a recap. The recap is this. When you are transitioning from boyhood to manhood, the first thing that you have to understand is you have to look at your character, which makes up your morals, your values, your beliefs, the systems that you operate, okay? You're going to have one already pre-built. It's going to look like Frankenstein because you got one from here, from over here, from over here, from over here, and you stitched them together. But now we're looking at that. We're looking at ourselves and we're saying, is this who I want to be? Is this who I want to be in the future? Is this the man I want to be? Is this the father I want to be? Is this the husband I want to be? Is this the lover I want to be? Is this the man I want to be? If the answer is no, then what you have to start doing is start unlearning a lot of the habits, the ideas, a lot of the things that have built up that character. Once you have successfully unlearned, and again, this is a process. This is not something like, oh, I unlearned it. The next day I learned it. I'm good. No, this is a transitioning process that has to happen through action. You understand? So once you learn that, and you've learned that as far as understanding it, being aware of it, now it comes part 2, which is you actively taking part in the actions that are becoming the character that you want to be. Now, again, this is why you need a journal. I'm so sick and tired of begging and pleading people to get a journal. So you're either going to listen or you're not. Get a journal. The reason why you have a journal is because if I asked you right now, let's just do a test, right? This is your test. This is how you know if you're on the ball or not. Crossing T's, dotting I's. Explain to me your character right now. Explain him to me. Just go ahead. Just in your mind, explain to me your character. Now, if you had a journal, that would be very easy for you to do because you could flip open the page and you can be like courageous, lazy, whatever, all these other things that make up somebody's character, okay? All the things that make up your character. If I asked you, what are your beliefs, right? Most people can't go give me a listicle and say, oh, I believe this, I believe this, I believe this, I believe you should have a place to where you write these things down. You understand what I'm saying? What do you value as a man? Tell me. What do you value as a man? And here's what most people do. And again, I've done this so many times, so it's not like you can trick me. Listen, you can trick me. That's fine. You can try to trick me if you want. You can't trick yourself. You can't trick. Here's what people do. I'm like, bro, what are your values? Here's what they say. I value freedom. I value family. They're just making shit up as they go. It's like, bro, I need this to be concrete. This is who you are. This makes up who you are as a man. You should have this bro, the more that you focus on it, the more action that you can take that comes from that. The reason why this is so important, the reason why this is your foundation is because everything that you think, feel, act on, it comes from this place. It comes from this place. The way that I run my relationship does not come from a place that because this is how it is. It's aligned with my character. My character belongs in this scene. In this scene, my character then has a woman who acts as this character for what we would call, at least I would call, our relationship. This is why I'm not dating feminists. I'm not dating feminists. I'm not dating women who believe that serving their man is stupid. I'm not dating them. Why? One, she doesn't align with my character. Two, she doesn't align with the goals, dreams, visions that I have for myself. You understand what I'm saying? She doesn't align. And three, if I have this woman around me, do you think she's going to help me get to the place that's ultimately going to serve me and my character and our family or community? The answer is no. This is the blueprint. I call this the compass of who you are. It tells you how you should think in certain situations. MD, I don't know what I should do. I should go to path A or I should go to path B. I'm going to say, look at your compass. Because if you're a man and you value your masculinity, you value your time, you value your family, you value these things, and you have two paths in front of you, whichever one is aligned with your character the most is the correct answer. You understand what I'm saying? This is your compass. So if you don't have your character written down, if you don't have your values written down, your beliefs written down, and again, bro, this is a lifelong journey. I'm not telling you to give me everything at once. I'm not. But what I am saying is, if we're consistent with it, if we're disciplined with it, these actions over a period of time, 3 to 6 months, you're going to have a massive list. Or maybe not even a massive list. You're going to have an understanding of who you think you are. This is why it's very important. Whenever you hop on a call with me, if you're trying to join the community, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you who you are in this moment. Who are you? We're going to break that person down. Then I'm going to ask you, who do you want to be in the future? And we're going to break that down. And then we're going to understand the gap between the two. That way you understand that, oh, I need to be participating in these actions. Because if you participate in these actions over a period of time, you will get the results. This is why we have sayings like walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, smells like a duck, looks like a duck. What is it? It's a duck. Take the same thing. If you're acting like this type of man, you smell like this type of man, you look like this type of man, you dress like this type of man, well, guess what? You're that type of man. This thing is not hard to understand intellectually. The hardest part is taking action. So listen, here's what I want to do, right? Oh, wow, I can't type it. I think I could do it on my phone. Here's what I want to do. Because let me make sure I got everything first. We have the character. Take part in the actions of the character to become that character. And then I feel like I'm missing something. Take part in the action. I'm trying to do two things at once. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, shit. Take part in those actions. And then once you realize that you have to take certain action over a period of time, you're going to realize that your operating percentage is going to be at a certain level. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. The good stuff usually happens when you're able to increase that operating percentage by 20%. Now, here's the beautiful thing. See, when I say operating percentage, most people think that I'm saying that you have to be at 100%. That's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. Because if you're a person who's working out, right, and you're operating at 30%, you're going to get some results. Some type of results. Now, is it going to be what you want? No. But again, if you took that operating percentage from 30% to 60%, meaning you're doubling the output, or at least having a better strategy or a better updated information, whatever 60% looks like for you, if you're able to have that, okay, I picked the wrong one. If you're able to have that, that's going to fundamentally change your life. That's the thing that people don't understand. You understand what I'm saying? It's like they're going from 3 sets to 4 sets. You don't realize it until you actually do it, and then you're going to be like, oh, I completely understand. This is life-changing. All right? So again, wherever you're at right now, you could be 5%, 10% away, 15, 20%. Some of you may be more, 54, 60, 70% away from the person that you ultimately want to be. You understand what I'm saying? If you would just dial in, and bro, the reason why I don't like sugarcoating, I don't like BS, because we know the truth. We know the truth. We know if we're operating at the level that we need to be operating at. We know. We know if we're BSing. We know if we're not taking it serious. We know if we're not around other people who are enabling us to do better. We know. We're men. We have to know. If we're men who are trying to get better, we have to know. And so, again, if you understand that, and you still aren't taking the next necessary actions to do what it takes, brother, you need help. And I'm not saying that as a joke or to make fun of you. I'm saying this is the part where you realize that you need help. You understand what I'm saying? So here's what it is. Once you understand that you are by yourself easily can get to 40%, 50%, 60%, you're going to realize that in order for me to get to that 70, that 80%, I just need a little tweak. And that little tweak can be somebody holding you accountable. That's literally it. Bro, trust me. And creating TB, bro, let me know if you're still in the chat, bro. Let me know if you're still in the chat. But what I did for you guys, if you guys look in the chat, there's a link that you can click to book a call with me, right? Bro, if you're trying to get to that next level, you have to join this community. Have a conversation. Even see if it's the right fit for you. You understand? Because when I tell you I get people results, the only people who can confidently get on here and tell me that I didn't get them results are people who refuse to take action. period. But if you show up and you do what I say, which is whatever action that I tell you to do, that you have to do, that's going to get you the result that you want. You show up, you do that over a period of time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9, you're going to get results. It's how it works. That's how the masculine works. The masculine works on take the action. Once you're taking the action, now it's about taking smart action. How do you get smart action? Well, you consult with an expert because an expert knows more than you. And so they're able to give you different strategies. You take a kid, 15 years old, he starts going to the gym. He doesn't know what he's doing. You take another kid, the same kid, and you give him expert trainers. Who do you think is going to have the better physique at the end of the year? The kid with the trainers or the kid who's winging it, doing it by himself? Come on. This is a no-brainer. This is why you have the point where you get these things. Now, most guys think that, oh, I'm going to join and I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to do these things. I'm not going to do this. And again, you have to ask yourself, I ask people, whose team are you on? There's two people, the higher version of yourself, the lower version of yourself. Whenever you start to talk or act, whose team are you on? See, when a person is giving me excuses, the reason why I cut through the noise and I don't care is because you're defending the lower version of yourself. You're on the team of the lower version of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? That's not who we want to be. We don't want to be with the lower version of ourselves. We don't want to be with that person. You told me, and again, I make sure I ask on the call, you told me you don't want to be the lower version of yourself. That's what you said. That's what you told me. So why are you defending them? Why are you taking the same actions as the lower version of yourself? You understand what I'm saying? Do you like the lower version of yourself? And I ask people this too, and I'm genuinely sincere. I'm sincere. Sometimes people will want things, and I'm like, bro, if we're being honest, you like being a degenerate. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with being a degenerate for the future? Are you okay with being the father who, when your children look up to you, they despise you because you're a degenerate? Are you okay with that? And again, that's not me making fun of them or nothing. My thing is, as a man, you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision. That's what you have to do. And every day you have to make that same decision over and over and over again. And I want to ask you something, right? Let's take a look at your father. And again, this is no shade to your dad. We respect our parents here. But let me ask you a couple questions, okay? Because the truth will always prevail. Was your father there for you every time you needed him? Was he there for you? Did he go out to your school recitals, your plays, your award ceremonies, your sports, whatever? Was he there for you? I want to ask that question. Yes or no? Okay. Was your father a liar? Did your father lie to you a lot? Yes or no? Did your father steal? Yes or no? Did your father drink too much, or smoke too much, or do hard drugs too much? Yes or no? Did your dad do whatever it is? Was your dad a stand-up guy? Was he a confident guy? Was he a courageous guy? Was he a motivated guy? Was he an ambitious guy? Was he this guy? Was he that guy? Shaquille says, no, never. So my question is, again, that was your father's choice. Now, listen, that's just how it is. Alexandro said, yeah, he lied a lot. Now, listen, my job, yes, drink a lot. Yeah, my job is not to judge my father or your father. That's not our job, okay? We have our personal relationships and our own feelings towards our fathers, but that's not our job. My question to you is, when you have kids, or when you're in a relationship, or when people know you, do you want the same for you? Do you want to be known as a person who lies a lot? Do you want to be known as a person who drinks a lot? Do you want to be a person who's known as somebody who's not ambitious? Do you want to be known as a person who is confident, who is courageous? Who do you want to be known by? Let me give you a secret. That's happening to you right now. That's who you are right now. You can't say, people do it all the time. No, bro, no, I'm not any of those things, bro. I'm not any of those things, bro. But it's like your actions say that you are. Your actions say that you are. And so if you are that person, what happens? What do you think happens when you grow up and you have children or you're in a relationship? You think you're going to hide that? And let me say this. Did your parents hide it from you? This is who it is. And so this is where it comes into play, because most people, they go to a certain operating percentage, right? And again, it may give you results. That's great. They may give you results. But in order for you to get to that next level, there has to be a level of focus that is beyond your capabilities alone. Are there people out there who could operate at 90, 100% in every facet of their life? Probably. But is that you? And if it's not you, that means you need all the help you can get. You understand what I'm saying? And so instead of, because I know a lot of people won't do this, but instead of spending $4, $5, $6, $8, $10,000 on Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, BS electronics from Amazon, a video game that's not going to give you any type of fulfillment in your life, but instead distract you. OnlyFans stars. That's right. I know. I see you. No, I'm just playing. Right. Instead of wasting all of your money on that, because if we look at last year's bank statements, how much bullshit are we gonna find on there? Be honest. How much BS are we gonna find on there? We're gonna find something. We're gonna find something on everybody's bank statement. Instead of taking that money and spending it on that, which is the lower version of yourself, use that money and invest it into yourself to make sure that you become the person you want to be and not default into the person you don't want to be. Shaquille said he even wants me to do the same, but I refuse to. Exactly. And I'm sorry to hear that, bro. But listen, if you're a person that you have to have not only strong conviction within yourself, but you have to be around other people who have that same conviction. And the reason why is because I tried to do this, bro. When I go to work at a restaurant, right, the people around me were so toxic. And I remember I would say so many different things to my head mentally to get my energy up, to get my positivity up, to get me like, I can do this. I'm not stuck in this place. But all that did was generate this energy, this boom, boom, boom energy. And the moment I went into that environment, all of those people just sucked it right out. Pause. Just all out. And guess what? Guess what they will replace it with? Guess what they will replace it with? Their negative energy. And I noticed it because then I started saying lingo that I never said before. Wait a minute. Why am I saying that? Because you're around these other people. I read something. I'm going to butcher it. But it was basically like, who do you think you are to think that energy needs your permission to be exchanged? Powerful. It's like, yes, bro, you can be extremely happy. You go into a room of sad people, guess what happens to your happiness? It's going to be exchanged for sadness. You ever walk into a place and the place is great and you walk in and you feel better just being there? You'll notice if you like Disney World or Disneyland. I like Disney World. I like those type of places. You go in there and the world's just happy. You know what I mean? Everybody's just having a good time. Right? It's because the energy is like that. The group is like that. And what I'm saying is, when you go out into regular everyday life, what happens is you're mixing energies with individuals. Now, again, do you want to be mixing energies with people who don't care about their life? Or do you want to be mixing your energy with people who do care about their life? I don't know about you. I want to be around people who do care about their life. Because guess what that does? That makes me care for my life more. Or it makes me feel proud to care about my life. And that's what this is about. That's why when I create communities, what I'm doing is I'm getting a bunch of people together who are focused on being a better version of themselves. Because when you're around other people who are focused on being a better version of themselves, what happens is you start to get inspired. You start to be proud to be a better version of yourself. That's what happens. And when you do that over a period of time, what happens is you ultimately get the results. Shaquille said, yes, the energy. Exactly. So listen, guys, I put the link in the comments, right? Go ahead and book a call with me and see if you want to join this community. This is something that you're going to ultimately want to join, all right? Because especially if you're a person who's really trying to look to that next level. I've done this plenty of time with 30 plus men, okay? I've done this. We've taken them from where they were to where they want to be. Right, we have a guy in the comments right now. I don't know if he's still in here, but brother went from at the time 214. One of the biggest goals, and I hope he's okay with me sharing this. One of the biggest goals that he had was he wanted to be under 200 pounds. And every time, what he would do is he would go up in weight, and then he would come down in weight. He would lose it. Then he would come up, and then he would lose it. And then he would come up, and he got sick and tired of that. Guess what happened when we started working to me? We upgraded so many things within his own mindset and his character that now I want to say he's happily under 200 pounds, the same way he wanted. Now, again, we're going to keep it going because that's what we do, but that's exactly how he wanted it to be. And we're going to, and not only just that, we're going to be working on other areas of his life to make sure that he is proficient in other areas as well. That's just one. I had somebody who was living in his car. You understand what I'm saying? And within 30 days, doubled his income, got out of his car into his own place and started working in his own business. Are we kidding? Are we kidding? And again, that's not even the body changes that he had. And he sent me pictures, which I'm going to post because he blocked out his face, right? That's not even that. Then we have a person who I want to say he's never read more than 8 books in a year, something like that. And it was either 8 or 4. And he wanted to crush that and read like 16, right? By the time we got on like month 6, he was already at like 12. This is a no-brainer. When somebody's holding you accountable, these are the things that you want to do. Another dude wanted to take his service-based business to the next level. He was I'll say it. He was a photographer. And what did he do? I need to start collecting more testimonials, bro. I need to start doing it. But that's what happens when you get to that next level. Because when you get to that next level, it takes something. It takes an evolution. It takes a transformation. And a lot of people just don't have that, bro. So listen, again, like the video if you like the video. Let me know if you guys like this type of content, bro. I've been spitting for like 2 hours straight. Again, if I hit a nerve, if I hit something that you're like, bro, this dude is spitting, go ahead and bless the Cash App that right here. I really appreciate that. Also, if you guys want to join the community, bro. I guarantee you it's going to be one of the best things that happens for your life as far as that. So let me go ahead and check my thing here to see if I'm missing anything. I don't think I'm missing anything. Do you guys have any questions or any comments that you want to say? Anything, let me know. All right. Oh my gosh, my back. I need to get some dinner. I need to get something in my system. Pause. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this live. I enjoyed it. I might go live tomorrow. We'll see. Creating TB says 193 as of today, bro. Congratulations again. That was one of his main goals, and we crushed that for him. And we're going to continue to crush it and continue to go down and continue to go even more down. This is just how it is, man. So again, if this is something that you're interested in, go ahead and go book a call on that link, and we'll have a conversation personally. We'll break this down. We'll see what we're all about, and then we'll get you to that point. So yeah. So just to recap for the one last time, you want to make sure that from adulthood or from boyhood to manhood, you want to make sure that you understand your character for who you are and who you want to be. Not only do you want to create this, not only for yourself, but the people closest around you that are going to benefit from you being this person. You want to make sure that you have this character, the values, the morals, the beliefs, and that you're the only person that needs validation from that. You understand? You're the only person that determines if this is good or not. Okay, once you have that, you understand that you have to take certain actions that's going to lead you to becoming that character full time, and you're going to reap the rewards of being that character. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Y'all tell me bye in the comments. Again, like the video if you like the video. I appreciate y'all, and I'm going to see you guys.